Opening the meeting of the Town of Lunenburg Conservation Commission for Wednesday, January 28th, 2026, in accordance with the requirements of at 7:04 PM. In accordance with the requirements of the open meeting law, please be advised that this meeting is being audio video recorded. The agenda lists all the topics which may be discussed at the meeting and those reasonably anticipated by the chair. Votes may be taken from these discussions. Not all items may be discussed, and other items may be raised to the extent permitted by open meeting law. Please be advised that the Town of Lunenburg utilizes Zoom platform as its host for its hybrid and remote meetings, that the Zoom platform utilizes AI technology known as AI Companion to create audio transcriptions of meetings to aid in the subsequent preparation of meeting minutes, and that AI Companion is activated immediately upon launching the Zoom application. You are hereby notified that this AI technology may capture audio prior to the start of the meeting and or following the conclusion of the meeting. Okay, I'm going to do a roll call. Teddy Doucette,
Here.
Richard Birsch,
Here.
Mary Wilson,
Here.
Andrea Burnett,
Here.
and I am here. It does not, and Mike and Chris do not appear to be here yet. So we do have a quorum though. Okay, we have an appointment up first for 41 Hilltop Lane, E25-23. Do we have the applicant on the line? It looks like we do.
Yep.
Okay, and then I know, Mary, you added some stuff into OpenGov.
No,
Or,
it didn't allow me to add it to OpenGov. I added it to the SharePoint
oh, that's
under a
right.
folder, I believe, for last week.
Okay. Let me just sign in.
I just want to first thank you all for your service. It's really important. So yeah.
Thank you. We really appreciate that. Thank you for hanging in with us through a couple of meetings and
I
some
get it.
snafus. Um, so Conservation Commission documents. Did you put it in the 2026 meeting materials? Yeah, I
Yeah.
see it here. 41 Hilltop. All right. I will share my screen. Okay, everybody can see my screen?
No,
No?
but I probably don't need to see it.
I can see it.
Okay. So this is an application to cut down trees that are a hazard. And we had a question about how many trees were actually being cut down.
Yeah, and they're all dead, by the way. The ones I want to cut down.
And I know Mary had gone out and
So I did go out, Madam Chair, and I uploaded, and they all are either dead or, severely damaged. I took pictures of the bottom of the trees and the tops of the trees. And then I also did a little site map diagram that shows where the trees are relative and the total number of trees.
That's so strange.
That's just kind of showing how heavily, treed the property is.
very heavily treated.
Yeah.
Which is how we like it.
Yeah, same. Like a lot of trees. Okay, so I'm just looking for,
There we go.
there we go. All right, so it looks like it's a total of 5.
That's
Yes.
correct.
Okay. And then these trees are still there as of right now, right? This isn't an
Yeah.
emergency. Okay.
Well, it's not an emergency, but,
I mean, it's not like an after the fact.
no, it's not an
Yeah.
after the fact.
Okay.
But I am gonna try to get it done as soon as possible. But no, they're all still there intact.
Okay. So I think I would be looking for a motion. Is that
So moved.
right?
Second.
All right. Roll call. It looks like we have Mike join us. Just want to announce that Mike LaRouche has joined the call. Let me just add a pin. Okay, I will not call on you to vote, Mike, just because you missed the whole thing, I think.
I understand. I did miss it all.
Okay, no worries. We have 5 people, um, so roll call vote on a motion to approve to allow the trees to be removed. Teddy Doucette,
Aye.
Richard Bursch,
Aye.
Mary Wilson,
Aye.
Andrea Burnett,
Aye.
and I for myself. All right. Thank you
Yay,
so much,
thank you.
Carol. Have a good
Thank
night.
And that was a negative determination, Madam Chair?
Negative determination, yes. Is that,
Whoa.
well, it's a conservation administrative
Yeah.
determination, so I guess it is,
Oh, okay, so it's an approval to ratify the determination.
yes.
Correct.
Quick question, can I call the tree company tomorrow? Or do I need to wait for something official from you all? And do I get something official?
It will get updated in OpenGov that it was approved. I think,
Okay,
um,
that's fine.
you would just does the office call them for these? Or I think after it's done, then you would have the office come take a look.
Oh, I see, okay.
Is that right? Can somebody correct me if I'm wrong on that? I don't know what the office is doing right now.
I
We
think
have, we
that's
have a
I think that's
full-time
correct.
person
As long
starting.
as I can go ahead and call the tree company and let the Hickory Hills Board know that you approved, that's all I need.
Yeah, you
Okay,
can do that. And then
great.
they'll update it in OpenGov tomorrow.
Great. Thank
Okay.
you all again for what you do. I know I've done a lot of volunteer work and I understand the commitment, so thank you.
Thank you. And have a great night.
You too.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, so up next we have public comment. Comments are to be limited to 3 minutes and on a subject matter under the direct jurisdiction of the commission. Comments about current agenda items are to be made during the comment period of the specific agenda item. Please address all comments to the chair. Do we have any public comment? It does not appear so. Okay, up next we have minutes of previous meetings, 12/17 and 1/7. Has everyone had a chance to review the
Motion.
minutes?
Motion to approve.
You want to approve? Do you one at a time or both? Is everyone good on that?
I would second the motion to approve both the 12/17 and the 1/7 meeting minutes.
Okay. Do I have a second? Oh, you were seconding.
Yes.
I'm just losing it. All right.
It's all good.
Roll call vote. Teddy Doucette,
Aye.
Richard Bursch,
Aye.
Mary Wilson,
Aye.
Andrea Burnett,
Aye.
Mike LaRouche,
Aye.
and I for myself. Okay, so both sets of minutes approved. Up next, we have a continued public hearing for 58 Spring Street Extension, NOI 25-27. Public hearing on a notice of intent by D. Doobie Construction LLC, Daniel Doobie, for a project that involves the demolition of a patio to pour a concrete foundation, construct a screen porch, and the extension of a deck. Do we have the applicant or looks like is Maureen? Is that?
Yes.
Okay, can
Hi,
you just-
everyone. Good evening. My name's Maureen Harold from Norse Environmental Services here on behalf of the applicant. I believe Mr. Doobie's here as well, so if you see him in the waiting room, could possibly bring him in.
There's nobody in the
Um,
waiting room.
Okay, thank you. Maybe he decided to skip tonight. I can bring in the plan if that works for the commission or.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
great. Let me do that. All right. So as Madam Chair had mentioned, we are proposing to raise an existing patio. We'd like to pour a foundation, construct a screen porch, and extend the deck. With some minor associated grading with that work. This property is on Lake Shirley, as you can see. We highlighted the 30-foot buffer, the 50-foot buffer. This orange line is the proposed wattles, and we have the 100-foot buffer. And I know we just received an insane amount of snow, so I have some photographs to just show the commission in case you haven't been out there as to what the property looks like. This is a close-up here. So as you can see, we're not proposing really any tree removal. This area of the lot is very flat. And I can open it up to the commission with any questions or concerns.
Okay, does this have a DEP number?
Yes. it
Okay.
does.
Are there any comments
No,
on? Okay, I just want to take a look. Normally I would look
Sure.
before the meeting, but I just walked in and immediately had to
no
hop
problem.
on the meeting.
DEP file number CE 2081368.
Okay,
And I'll put it back on.
And
Let's see.
Madam Chair, I can confirm there are no
Yes.
comments.
okay, awesome, got it up. Okay, do we have any questions from members of the commission? I know we did go out to this one. And I think Mary had taken some pictures. Because my phone was in the, was that? Am I right on that, or did I take pictures?
I took photos. I
Okay.
didn't have a chance to upload them though.
Okay. I think the big question that we had was, I think, the high water mark, but it felt like it actually was closer. They had measured it to be closer than it was, and it still was outside of, like they, how am I saying this? It actually was further away from the house, the real high water mark, but they had measured it just from that retaining wall.
Right. So I had called I generally speaking, when I see a wall along any lake or pond, I generally call that the bank, but you could be absolutely right that the high water mark is further into the lake than what's there.
Mary, have your hand up.
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing. It seemed like there was some exposed shoreline, in front of the retaining wall, and the shoreline as drawn actually seems like it's not a straight line, but the retaining wall is. But that's okay. I mean, it's penalizing them potentially and given a more leeway on for buffer. So I'm okay with that.
Okay, thank you, Mary. Do we have any other questions for members of the commission?
So, Madam Chair, if I may,
Yes.
one thing I just wanted to have clarity on. So we're pouring a foundation. Where's the foundation going to go? Could you trace that on the drawing?
So it's gonna go right here. I have the architectural plans we can take a peek at.
That'd be great.
So here's the frost wall. So essentially it's going where the existing patio is, the screen porch underneath, and we'd like to put the deck on top of the screen porch, which would be proposing to extend the deck that's there right now.
Okay, could you go back to the other drawing?
Sure. Whoops.
Okay,
So
there would be a deck over the existing patio?
there would be this, so this would be the foundation with the screen porch, and the
Okay.
existing deck would extend over the screen porch. Does
Oh,
that make
okay,
sense?
okay. And then the building itself would extend into the area that the deck is currently?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you bring up the picture of the back of the
Sure.
dwelling again?
Sure. So right now, here's the patio that you can see, and the deck is on top. So we would like to, pour the foundation for the screen porch, and then essentially extend that deck on top of the roof of the screen porch. And that's shown right here
And
pretty
it
well.
it wouldn't be coming out any further than the existing deck is right now?
Yes, it would be.
Okay,
So we are proposing to extend the deck.
okay.
Because the deck, see the columns of the deck,
Yep.
the patio
I'm sorry,
is,
the patio. But it would be coming out to the existing end of the patio.
it would, except for this corner right here. We'd like to square this off. So I think we're squaring it off. I'm gonna just zoom in a little bit.
I think that if I remember correctly, when we were there, it is a square now. I mean, maybe it seemed like it was, but Teddy, you have your hand up?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I guess my question is are these pavers simply coming out, you're pouring foundation where the pavers were, and then
Correct.
a deck is going to be built over it with a screened-in porch?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So it's
Are
not
the
going to go past any grass that it's already, um, you're not pouring foundation over more area where grass currently lies.
the the current pavers, are those permeable?
Good
Is
question.
that jointed or
They appeared to be when we were out there, Madam Chair.
yeah? So do you have, can you go back to the plan again?
Sure.
Um, is there anything built in here for runoff if there's going to be some sort of a top or a roof on the new deck?
So we're not proposing that at this moment, but we can certainly incorporate that if we could do some rooftop infiltration, or we could size an infiltration trench around it. Is that a requirement of the commission, generally speaking?
I mean, typically, if I'm just speaking for myself right now, you have a patio that's sitting and water is infiltrating. And then if you were to add, more of a structure and water's running off, it would be running off, toward the lake. So typically we like to see something that water can infiltrate into.
Whoops, I'm sorry about that. So we can
Or I-
certainly incorporate that if that's the commission's, I'm trying to zoom out here.
Mary, you have your hand up?
There
Yeah.
is quite a different distance. We're about 50 feet to the top of the wall. So in terms of erosion, I'm not too concerned because this is it's a well-established lawn area. But again, we can incorporate infiltration. That's not a problem.
Mary, you're gonna get something to
Yeah,
say?
so it's one thing having a patio that's into the no build zone that's a patio that's permeable or semi-permeable. By putting a building over and into the no structure zone, I'm not in favor of that. And then I actually didn't see on the drawing where the stockpile area material was going to be. So we need to know where that is. So as they're
Okay.
excavating material to, clear the area for the foundation, we need to know where the stockpile area is.
Okay, we can add that to the plan. The septic system is located beside the house. So my guess is we'd do a stock, we could possibly put a stockpile area here or maybe right in, to the side over here. But we can add that to the plan. Not a
Yeah,
problem.
we require that, and so that we can tell that your erosion controls are going to manage any runoff from the stockpile area during that transient time that it's there.
Okay.
Okay, so, would we be looking to have the plans updated and continue to another meeting? To have the stockpiles put on?
Yes, I can do that. That's not a problem. And in terms of infiltration, is that something that you would like me to incorporate into this project?
Madam Chair, maybe you would want to take a straw man poll just to get a sense
Yeah.
of that, as well as the intrusion of of a roof structure into the 50-foot no build zone as well.
Okay. Straw man poll, how are we feeling about the structure going into the 50-foot? And also thinking about maybe adding infiltration of some sort. And then yeah, those are the two things. So I'm gonna say, Richard, I see you have a thumbs up.
Yep. No,
Is
I would
that
certainly be in favor of some sort of mitigation if we have a semi-permeable or permeable patio, and we are covering that with a impervious roof surface. We certainly need to take that added runoff into consideration and mitigate that water that was permeating through the patio at this point now. And I guess I'm a little confused, Mary. You guys said when you were on site that you think that the shoreline is further out than what they have marked. So technically, the corner of the patio would not be inside the 50-foot
Maybe you
buffer.
can't tell we were there after a lake drawdown.
Ah, okay. Yeah, because I certainly would like to see it stop at the 50-foot buffer with the impermeable rooftop.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Teddy, I saw that you had a thumbs up. Do you
Yeah,
have
I'm
anything you
in.
want to add? Or
Yeah, I also would like to see a stop at the 50-foot no build zone, but any addition to a green grass lawn that you could make the soil more permeable, I would appreciate that added.
okay. Mike, do you have anything you want to add, or
I
I see
agree
you're
with,
inside tonight. Sorry, keep going.
yes, I am inside.
Okay.
I agree with my colleagues ahead of me. I think those are all good recommendations, and I go along with those recommendations.
Thank you, Mike. Andrea, did you want to add anything, or do you think that it's mostly you would agree?
No, I don't have anything to add. I
Okay,
agree with my fellow commissioners.
awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so it sounds like then I agree with my fellow commissioners also that we would like to see it to stay within outside of the 50-foot
Okay.
buffer, and then also have some sort of infiltration, whether that be, I don't know, some sort, maybe like what's the word I'm looking for? Like a wet, yeah,
Infiltration trench.
yes. Or, if you have
Like a rain garden of sorts.
or like the thing that goes on your roof and then it could go into a wet, when you have the gravel. I can't think of the word right
Dry
now.
well.
Dry well, yes. Something that can just handle any runoff. And then also update where stockpiles would be.
Okay, and I might take another look at that shoreline as well, or maybe if there's been a past filing to see if they in fact called it the wall or the previous shoreline. In order to make that 50 foot, I mean, right now we're 49 feet away, so we're really close to it.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's something maybe the commission might entertain.
Yeah, I mean, if you had a plan that showed, that it was 50 feet, then definitely that would be something that we would entertain. It's just
Okay.
we have the regulation in place, so we really have to follow the regulation.
No, I completely understand and I appreciate all the feedback that you've given me tonight. With that, I'd like to request a continuance to the next meeting.
Okay, and that would be February 4th, so it's gonna only be a week away.
Okay, that can't work.
Okay. So
Just because I need to get these plans updated.
yeah,
Can I do the following meeting?
yeah. So that would be 14 days, so February 18th. And if you'd like, we could continue it to the 4th, and if you get everything in order, we could hear it, but if you don't, you could just put a thing in OpenGov and ask for it to be continued too. But it sounds like, are you pretty confident 2/4 is too early?
Yeah, I think I have to get back in touch with the engineers and I'd like to do a little research. So I think it's too early and obviously we're having quite the winter, so it's not like this is gonna start anytime soon.
Yeah.
But I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, so I think I'd be looking for a yes.
Madam Chair, sorry. As far as putting the supplies pile, I'm assuming, because there were two choices, I'm assuming that it's going to be before the erosion control, so the erosion control will contain the stockpile of the
Yeah.
material. Okay.
So the stockpile has to be behind the erosion control.
Excellent. That's what I wanted to make sure. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mike. Okay, so I'm looking for a motion to continue to February 18th, 2026. Coming back with the stockpiles added to the plan, some sort of infiltration, and either an updated buffer zone drawing or having the structure outside of the 50 foot.
So moved.
Second.
All right, roll call vote. Mary Wilson,
Aye.
Richard Bursch,
Aye.
Mike LaRouche,
Aye.
Teddy Doucette,
Aye.
Andrea Burnett,
Aye.
and I for myself. All right, we will see you February 18th.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Richard, do you have your hand up?
Yeah, I did, Madam Chair. I just wanted to comment quick. It does look like from some of the aerial photographs over the years that the high water does come right up to the retaining wall on
Okay.
the property. So I did want to just mention that. So
Thank you, Richard, for looking at that.
Okay, thank you. Have a good night.
You too, thanks. Okay, up next, we have on our agenda, we have 480 Mulpus Road, but that actually was closed out at the last agenda. So we are going to, and on the updated agenda, I did make that red. So that we won't be hearing that because it's already closed out. Up next, we have 30 Summer Street, which is continued from November 19th. It's NOI-25-22. A public hearing on a notice of intent by Safe Store Real Estate Company LLC for a project that involves floodplain fill and associated compensatory floodplain compensation. I see that we have Greg Roy on the call.
Yeah, I am. Thank you, Madam Chair. Greg Roy, Dolphin Roy.
Thank you for coming to an impromptu meeting.
Yeah. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
So I'm going to tell you, I had anticipated, or I guess assumed incorrectly, that you were punting this to next whenever your next scheduled meeting was. So I just found out about this meeting like earlier today.
Oh, okay.
And I think so I wanted to be here because I have two things on the agenda, but honestly, I'm not prepared for either one of them tonight.
Okay.
And this one in particular, we just uploaded the information to the portal like yesterday, in anticipation that we'd be probably doing it, at your next meeting. So, I'm quite certain you haven't seen or at least had a chance to digest the information that we have submitted on 30 Summer Street. So I'd like to just request a continuance to your next available meeting,
Okay.
whatever that is.
All right. So request
If
to
it's next
continue
week,
this 2/4.
next week would be fine. Yeah, next week's fine.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for coming. I really didn't want to
Yeah.
have all this stuff on the next agenda, so I really wanted to get some of it cleared out, if we could. So I
Yeah,
appreciate you
I
coming.
understand.
We can definitely continue
So I
this.
can attempt to do the next one if you want. So I'll see where you guys land.
It's also
I'll stick.
the other stuff that we end up talking about too, like the grants and all of that stuff that continue
Yeah.
the meeting. So I really thought if we could get
Yeah.
some of it out of the way, that would be really helpful and not have a 12-hour
Yeah,
meeting
so-
for our next
Okay,
meeting.
yeah, no, I get that. So I think what I'll do is I just, if it's, yeah, go ahead and do this one. And then if you wouldn't mind, I think I'm going to request a continuance to 27 Fire Road, 15A as well, just because I wasn't, I don't have my head in the game here. I wasn't
Okay.
prepped for it today, so.
All right. So, do I have a motion to continue to February 4th, 2026?
So moved.
Second.
All right. Roll call vote. Teddy Doucette,
Aye.
Richard Bursch,
Aye.
Mary Wilson,
Aye.
Andrea Burnap,
Aye.
Mike LaRouche,
Aye.
and I for myself.
Super.
All right.
Thank you.
Up next,
And-
we have, thank you, Greg. I'm going to get to 27 Fire Road for you quick because the next one is a continuation. So
Okay, super.
we're just going to quickly continue that. 763 Northfield Road, they requested a continuation to 2/4/2026. So public hearing and notice of intent by the Lunenburg DPW. Do I have a motion to continue to 2/4/2026?
So moved.
Second.
All right, roll call vote. Teddy Doucette,
Aye.
Richard Bursch, he wasn't expecting me to get this this quick. I'll move on to Mary Wilson,
Aye.
Andrea Burnap,
Aye.
Mike LaRouche.
Aye.
Call on Richard one more time. Richard Bursch.
Aye.
And I for myself continue to 2/4. All right, up next, 27 Fire Road 15A, public hearing on notice of intent by Steve Bean for a project that involves demolition of an existing cottage and construction of a replacement house and deck on the property. I see Greg Royce on the call.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm Greg Roy, Dillson Roy, representing the applicant. I had anticipated this being on next week, and I just am not. I apologize. I don't want to rush this one. So, if you would be so kind as to accept a request for an continuation to your next meeting, I'd appreciate it.
All right, do I have a motion to continue?
So moved. Second.
Motion to continue to, what's the next meeting date?
2/4/2026.
February
right.
4th, 2026.
All right, roll call vote. I'm gonna give Richard the motion and Mary the second. Roll call vote. Teddy Doucette,
Aye.
Richard Bursch,
Aye.
Mary Wilson,
Aye.
Andrea Burnap,
Aye.
Mike LaRouche,
Aye.
and I for myself. All right. Thank you so much, Greg. And just so you know, you can always request that we continue in
I
open
should-
gov and I'll get a notification.
I should have done. I'm sorry. It was one of those days. I didn't even have time to go to the bathroom. So today,
Okay.
so
Same. I came home and got rid of this
apologize.
call.
It was one of those. Actually, I wasn't even sure I was going to be able to be here tonight. We have like 3 other hearings, but as it turns out, the other ones dropped out too. So I was able to be here and do it in person. Before I sign off, I'm here. Is there any? Did you have anything for me, I don't think you have it on there, but I
Oh,
see maybe grants updates.
yes.
Was there
Do
any
you want to?
questions that you folks had for me relative to, we did do some bid packages for a few of your grants. And while I'm here, if you had any questions, I'm happy to. Um,
Yeah, Mary, you have your hand raised.
Yeah,
Fine.
Greg, I left a message with you earlier in the week and late last week, but I
Oh,
was able to get a hold of Ryan today, and
oh,
he answered my question, so I'm all
okay,
good to go. I think
okay. Sorry
I'm
about that, Mary.
no worries. I'm working on the Reno one, and Jenny's working on the Table Rock one.
Okay,
So I think we have everything that we need to be able to get those submitted over the next 3 or 4 days. But thank you.
okay,
You've been great support on those designs for us. Really appreciate it.
okay. All right, great. Sorry that I missed your voicemail. I do see I have 5 unread voicemails here, so it's just one of those. It's been one of those weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I get
it's
it.
always one of those weeks, I feel like, for me,
Oh,
so I get it.
stupid. It's crazy. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good.
All right, thanks so much, Greg.
I'll just also say I hope Rich is like hailing on this from this meeting from that boat that he has on there, so that'll be great.
That's your boat, right, Rich?
Yes, that is my boat and I am on it.
All right. Yes.
Yep. Now we just pulled into Sampson Key, which is just north of Staniel Key for a blow coming through in the next 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, it's going to be cold, right? It's going to get some abnormal.
Yeah, I can't believe it. It's like 69 degrees. I haven't seen the 60s for 7 weeks now. So
Yeah, well, I got something I could say, but I won't because it's a public meeting. But anyway, all right. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Thank you.
All
All right,
right. Have a
thanks,
great night,
Greg.
Greg.
Have a
You
good
too.
one. Okay. So thank you all for coming tonight, by the way. I just think that if we can I was hoping to get the lakes out of the way, but neither of the lakes could make it. But we have a lot of other stuff to get through. I thought if we could get through some of this tonight, then we won't be sitting here until 2 o'clock in the morning on the next meeting. So, but thank you all. Okay, so up next we have administrative determinations. I do believe that we have some of these that we can talk about on OpenGov. Normally I would be more prepared, but I've already forgotten what all of these are because I didn't have a chance to. Usually I spend time before the meetings just getting all my ducks in a row. All right, so 833 Flat Hill Road, CAD-25-21. I can confidently say that we do not have the applicant on the call because it's just us. And if I remember, let me pull this up. 25 ash trees that are being killed by the emerald ash borer and recommended for removal by the ISA certified arborist Julian Reese. Most are in the area behind the cabin, one is across the driveway, and 2 are close to the bridge. The 2 near the bridge are closer than 50 feet to the lake. All are tagged. He also, let me just share my screen so I'm not just, so you guys can actually see what I'm reading. If Zoom will let me. Okay. So let me go. Oh, it doesn't actually, I don't think that Herlin put notes in this one. I know Herlin is straight out right now because she is in the, I don't know if anyone's ever left a job before, but there's always it's like you're doing 4 jobs at once when you're leaving. So I know she has a lot going on. But I don't see any notes from her for this one, unfortunately. I feel like there were notes on this one though. Let me just check. Does anyone else feel like they remember seeing notes for this one? Or am I losing my mind?
I don't recall, Madam Chair.
Let me, 833. No. No, I think I'm imagining it. Okay, 8 Iris Court. See if there are. Okay, we have site visit notes. The tree appears to exhibit decline, including, oh, let me share my screen again. So Harlan said the tree appears to exhibit decline, including upper crown dieback and structural concerns. White pine exhibits signs of decline, such that failure could pose risk to the residents. Let me just go into the details. So it's removal of one dangerous tree in buffer zone, and it is 18 feet from the resource area. And here is a diagram. So you have trunk bark splits, dying 90-foot tall tree, white pine within 47 feet of house. And then we have looks like some other pictures from Herlin. Very snowy. Is it this one? Does anyone have any questions while I go through this? This is the same one we just looked at. Oh, here's a site plan. Not, well, uh, aerial map showing canopy, but it's debatable. Um,
Oh, this is the one we saw last week.
did
Was
Oh,
it?
and she was going to give us, um, was that last week? Richard, you have your hand up.
I
Not
did. I
last
was
week,
just
last
looking,
time.
do we have, are they proposing replacements within line with the bylaw?
You know what? I don't have my notes in front of me from the last meeting.
As I recalled it, Madam Chair, they had
Yep.
planted 1 or 2 pines within the 30-foot buffer zone within the past few years, and they thought that would hopefully be good enough. Could you
Right,
show
that's right.
the diagram again? It's seeing those clusters of maples was the thing that helped me kind of remember, because my head was exactly where Rich's was with, ooh, this seems like an opportunity to do some replacements. Yeah, so I'm not able, there we go. So,
I have a bunch of stuff in my way. I was trying to clear it so that I could do this. There we go.
oh, okay, much better.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought they said they had planted those 2 little ones, like the maple 8-foot 3-inch, and then the white pine 10-foot DBH was probably supposed to be 6 inches. Oh, they said they had just put those in there, and that they hoped that would be sufficient for replacement for white pine coming down that's in the 30-foot.
Yeah, and I think, is this is different than the one that we originally looked at, I feel like. Is this or Mike, you have your hand up? Oh, you're muted. You're still muted.
Okay, there we go.
There we go.
On my notes, it did say that she was going to submit a plan with the color change from green to red. Is that what this plan is? Because there was a question about what trees
Yeah,
she was talking about,
Yeah.
and she had said that she was going to submit a plan that would clarify this. So,
and these were uploaded on January 8th, which was the day after the last meeting. So this is updated.
okay, good.
And Madam Chair,
Yes.
for certain, the maples have some red where they were gonna remove 2 stems. Those were all green
Yep.
before.
Yep. So this is their updated plan showing the white pine. So it's actually 2 trees. We have a 60-foot white pine with a 13-inch caliper to be removed, and then right,
Yes.
and then 90-foot, which is the one we were looking at the pictures of, to be removed. Um, and they have, looks like they showed the permission from Hickory Hills. And then they added in the same pictures. Can somebody remind me? I remember we talked about, because the application is for 1 tree, but we have 2. And they had asked, if I remember correctly, they had asked to have this one removed at the meeting, and we asked them to put it on the plan. Because we were kind of unsure
I think
why,
it was there, but it was green.
right. And like only this one was red last
Correct.
time.
Correct.
Okay. So 'cause we just want to be clear that they're actually asking to have 2 trees taken down.
Actually, Madam Chair, I think they have 4 because it looked like a couple of the stems of that maple are red to be removed.
Yeah, it looks like they're trimming this, but not fully taking down trees.
That's correct. They said it was one
So-
root system, but multiple stems.
Yeah,
So they're taking out 2 of the 4 stems.
yeah, that's what they're
Okay.
asking.
So that's still
yeah.
more than 2 trees.
I feel like we had pictures of those trees. Is
There
that
they are.
this is it right here, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if they're taking out, I mean, that's the multi-stem. This would be a stem, right? And that would be a stem.
Correct.
So the 2 stems would be the whole tree.
No. It looks like there are like 4 or 6.
Oh, these aren't actually coming out of here. They're coming out of the ground.
That's what I think.
Okay. Just not a great vantage point. Because it looks like that's just 2 stems. I'm going to do that thing where I start clicking in OpenGov and then I have 1 gazillion open tabs. Andrea, you have your hand up.
I'm wondering,
Yeah.
is the other white pine that's I guess at the top of the plan, is that also in poor health?
I'm trying to find.
I actually thought that was Herlin's recommendation when she was out there, that it was out in poor health.
Let's go back to. The tree appears to exhibit upper crown dieback and structural concerns. The white pine exhibits signs of declines in its position such that the failure could pose risk to the residents. And
So her notes don't seem to say that that's what she told them.
yeah, because we have two white pines. It seems like there's one white pine.
But I thought they, you know, and other
In her
people may
notes.
remember better, but I thought that they had said that when Herlin was out, she identified the 60-foot 13-inch white pine as being damaged as well, and so they wanted to see if they could take it out. And I may be
That's what I
misremembering.
remember. I think this was this one that was on meeting notes? Let me see. No, I'm not finding any notes for this one. Okay, so we still have questions. It seems like we're not sure if it's one or two trees coming down, but it looks like according to Herlin's note, she's only referencing one tree, and it's the one. I mean, it looks like, let's go through these pictures. I'm not gonna open them all up again. It seems like all of her pictures are of the one on the shoreline. Like she's really focusing on that. Because the other one is kind of off to the side over here. Well, this is it here. So this is the corner of the house. So I guess she is taking pictures of over here. Nothing notating what it is. And this is the 90-foot one, and then this is the multi-stem one. Okay, let me just put in notes that I need a recommendation before the next meeting for this one. And to clarify whether it's one or two trees. Does anyone have anything else they want to say about this one?
Yep, Madam Chair, I'd like to see replacements for what they're taking out in accordance with the bylaw.
Okay,
And unfortunately, we're taking out two substantial mature white pines that offer at some point some shade before they got hacked and deteriorated. And in nature, there would have been trees in there to take the place of those, but currently there is none. So we should be at least trying to replace what is there.
yeah.
Ma-
And
Madam Chair, if I might ask, through you, so I think we have 2-for-1 for the mature white pine that's within the 30-foot, Rich. Yeah,
I don't remember exactly. It does have to do with the size of the tree.
yeah, it does have to do with the size of the
They're
tree.
2'6", so these are 30-inch caliber trees or diameter trees.
Yeah,
So
that requires three, I believe, right?
3.
Three,
Okay.
at least 10-foot trees. If I remember correctly, you think I would know this by heart by now, but I don't feel bad because it doesn't seem like anybody knows it by heart.
Well,
like I say,
my,
whatever the bylaw stipulates, they
do
should be
we
submitting what they're going to replace them with once we get our
do
once
we have a
Herlin gives us the.
replacement criteria for a tree that's removed outside of the 30-foot but within the 50?
I don't believe so. I believe it was just within the 30-foot.
That's what I thought as well. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And I mean, we
Good.
certainly can dictate if we feel that the loss of the tree does detract from the functioning of the buffer zone.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right, I'm
I
adding
would
them.
be happy with that too. Madam Chair, I just wanted to add that. Sorry to talk over you.
No worries. Okay. All right, I've added that to my notes and I will send that to Herlin so that we know exactly what is happening for the next meeting. All right, 72 Hemlock. And we do not have any notes from Herlin, unfortunately. Let me see if we can come up with any questions, though. So it's 4 hemlocks that are oh, on the shore. So that is house, lake, 1, 2, 3, 4. And let me just read their narrative. Risk of falling onto our house in a storm. All right, so 4 hemlocks, they believe are at a risk of falling into their house in a storm. We have pictures. Does anyone have any questions that they would like me to relay to Herlin so that she can ask the homeowners when she hopefully gets out there for a site visit, or if she can't, maybe I can put it on our list for site walks this weekend.
Again, replacements that coincide with the bylaw, as all of these are clearly on the lake shore.
Yeah. Okay, anything else for anyone? All right. And next one is certificates of compliance. We have 143 Island Road. All right, it looks like Herlin signed off that she did a site inspection. Oh, and we approved this one, so it shouldn't be here anymore. All right, well, that makes that one easy. All right, enforcements, I don't have any updates on enforcements. Does anyone else have any updates on enforcements? Kind of flying with nothing as far as the office goes right now, just because Herlin, she's with us for good on February 9th, but just right now she is super busy. We're very excited for when she can be full-time. So hopefully we'll have, and she'll be at meetings once she's full-time. So that will be really exciting. So I'm going to skip over enforcements unless anyone has any updates that they wanted to share there. Okay, moving on to new business. We do have some stuff that we wanted to talk about. So at least we'll have a couple of things. So topics unknown. I don't have any topics unknown. Does anyone else have any topics unknown? Nope. Okay. Bylaw discussion. Does anyone have anything they wanted to discuss for the bylaw discussion?
Madam Chair, have we actually
Yes.
provided any feedback to whoever's coordinating that?
I don't think we have. I have not. I know that there was something that I wanted to send to them, but I can't even remember what it was right now.
The cost structure for consulting engineering, I think, should
oh.
be reviewed. I don't think it's aligned with current competitive
Okay.
costing. And I actually, in my mind, costing is something that fluctuates with market values, and I wonder if that's really strategically best placed in the bylaws versus being in the regulation.
Okay, I actually did talk to Herlin about this, and she said that she actually saw our costs and thought that that was something that she wanted to do too. I will check in with her hopefully tomorrow. And the thing is, we need, if we're going to do it, we actually need what we want our cost structure to be. Right? So would we have to vote on that at a meeting? Come up with what we want, like in line with other towns, and then vote on that in a meeting. But putting it in the regulations, how do we change the regulations?
Bylaws, I think, have to be voted on at a town meeting. The regulations themselves, I think, can be 2 publicized Conservation Commission meetings and a 2/3 vote by the Conservation Commissioners, I believe.
Okay.
Rich
Yeah, I think the
has his hand
process
up.
is, yeah, the process is listed in the regulation on how to change or update it. I was
Okay.
going to recommend, as far as a cost structure for a peer review, that perhaps Herlin take a quick look or go down and check with the planning department. Because
Okay.
they have it on every single application, has to be reviewed, peer reviewed.
Yeah.
And I'm
They
sure
do.
whatever language they have, we should be able to adapt to ours so that it does change with the times and not have just a fixed structure.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll try to chat with Herlin. Um, and see what you can come up with.
Super.
Okay.
But Madam Chair, I think the question was about bylaws, right?
Right.
And the regulation itself is something separate and
So,
managed separately. So bylaws, though, right now, our consultant engineering costs are actually in the bylaws.
and we would like to move them out of the bylaws and into the regulations.
Oh, well, we should follow whatever best practices for the town. But
Okay.
that's something in my mind that I had a question about whether that was a best practice.
Okay. All right.
Is that something
I
you want
will.
office hours for, to talk to a lawyer?
Yeah, he was just here for this month. I will. I wonder, do we know if the planning board for the planning board, is it in their regulations? Or is it do they have it in the bylaws? Wondering how other,
I don't know.
okay. Let me start. I'm gonna start with, I know, although Herlin probably is not as up to date on Lunenburg as she is on Fitchburg. Let me start by talking to Herlin and Jen. And then see, because Jen Warren, she'll be a good source of information for sure. Okay. I will not drop the bomb on this like I have 3 times already. Okay. All right. We haven't had any MAC training that I'm aware of. Lunenburg April Earth Days. I know Herlin said that she would be interested in helping out. Mary is taking a step back. I want to try take a little more um initiative, I guess. I did talk to I saw Christina from the Pollinator Habitat, and I asked her if there's anything she wanted to look at for Earth Days, and she said there's not a lot of work to do in the spring right now at the Pollinator Habitat because they don't have any big projects that they're working on, but she would let me know. Um, as far as other projects go, actually, I honestly don't even know where we left that. We were trying to come up with a couple other things that we wanted to work on, but also make sure it's at a time when people are going to be around.
I think last time, Madam Chair, we just talked about a lot of people wanting to help, but not anybody saying that they wanted to be the leader.
Okay.
Typically, in the past, right? I'm not the leader, then it's not my herd of cats to manage.
Right.
But in the past, typically we've not been able to get people to sponsor projects until we kind of got into February or March, just because it's so early. It's hard to think about the ground being thawed out.
Okay.
But there usually are a number of projects that people can do, and like Boy Scouts and the youth leagues. You can almost always count on them to want to clean out the parks and the memorial park.
Okay. The Memorial Park is not us though, right?
No, but it
Um,
benefits the town.
okay. So would that be something that you think that conservation would try to get going?
I think it's fine. Somebody
Okay.
somebody can, right? And honestly, it's not hard. They know what to do. They do it every year. It's
Yeah.
just a matter of I I in the past have liked to do it and like to work with them even if Parks wasn't working with us because it's shows a high level of volunteer participation. We get to log those hours and those hours become a quantitative figure of community support that we can put in these grant applications.
Okay. All right. So, so normally, are you the person who reaches out to the Boy Scouts and sets that up and youth leagues, or when you say
I
youth
usually
leagues?
my strategy has been to post a flyer and a form, right? A web form and put a flyer in the Lunenburg Ledger twice and put it on all of the town Facebook pages, and that usually brings everybody in. And I don't have to contact anybody. They all contact us through the form.
And does the Ledger charge us for that?
They, in the past, and the past is not a guarantee of the future because it really depends on how their, ad income has been doing. In the past, they've been willing to sponsor us for one of those, and in the past, we have paid for one.
Okay. All right. So one could be Boy Scouts. And then when you say youth leagues, I know you've worked with the National Honor Society, right? Out of the high
Oh
school
yeah, but I meant for the ballparks is usually the youth leagues that are using the ballparks, like the t-ball
baseball.
and the
Yeah.
baseball and soccer leagues and all that.
Okay.
And what do? They pick up litter or?
Yeah, they pick up litter, they pick up the sticks. The Boy Scouts always give a good rake through of the memorial park. So yeah, it's kind of nice.
I'm happy to help out with this or sponsor this.
Thank you, Teddy. All right.
That would
Yeah.
be
And I'll try
awesome.
to get, I will also try to help. I'll have to pick your brain probably a lot, Mary, about some
I'm
stuff.
I'm happy to help. Like I said, I'm happy to help, and I'm happy to go, you know, lead a weekend. I just am not in a position where I can be there on every place on every weekend and then, kind of chase everybody down during March to make certain we got our weekends lined up and stuff.
Or like when the Boy Scouts are doing the park, is usually would you have overseen that or would like their scout leader have overseen that?
Usually for the Boy Scouts, their scout leaders oversee that. Usually for the youth leagues and the parks, like baseball parks and fields, those coaches and league coordinators oversee that.
Okay. And then do you get the signatures for the volunteer hours through them, or is that like just a,
I actually just asked them to send me a list of how many people participated and how long they did the event.
okay.
Yeah, we only have to get signatures for the actual work hours that we log on a grant. If we're just demonstrating community support, it's just can be a little bit looser.
Okay. And then, are there any projects in any of the conservation areas that we think we might wanna be looking at? Um,
I think that there will be, but I don't know what they are right now.
okay. Okay.
I don't think that we got all those catwalks built in the Table Rock area that the NHS was working on in the
I
last
also
year.
think that the one at Cowdrey, last time I was there, was not fully done, but I think that John is still working on that
Okay.
sporadically.
Yeah.
I feel like there might be something else at Cowdrey that still needs to be done too. So keep those at top of mind. And again, it is still January, so but I don't want to also leave it till like the last minute. Teddy, you have your hand up.
At Marshall Park, there's a basketball court that's also kind of like overridden with uh foliage last I went. I don't know if that's something that we're able to go clean up.
I
Yeah,
don't know
that's
anything
town
about that.
volunteers. Yeah, and
Yeah.
town volunteers can even be conservation commissioners.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
when you say it's an actual basketball court that's just overgrown. I think
Um,
that you mentioned this to me once, I think, because
yeah, I believe it's a basketball court, maybe it's a tennis court. I'm not sure. I just know that it was not in like usable condition and who was it? Someone on the Parks Commission, I think her name was Karen. Um, told me that they've like cleaned it out before, but I don't know, it doesn't get used or what have you.
I heard something about um is Marshall Park, do they have some flooding issues there?
Yes.
Was that you that told me that?
Yeah, we went there as the master plan steering committee and we're thinking about like how the park uh could use some drainage
Okay.
and they also have some parking dilemmas that they're trying to work out.
I'm looking
But
at some pictures.
yeah, this is just stuff that they we were talking about but was not like the highest priority
Right.
in the master plan because the higher priority things were like the school, the center of town, and Marshall Park is like on the list of many things that the town wants to do, but where does it lie? And I think that anything that we can do with just volunteer hours to save the town money, um, I'm happy to help out with that.
I appreciate that. I gotta go to Marshall. I've never been to Marshall Park. It's on my list of places to go. We have a lot of good open space and conservation areas in Lunenburg, I think. I still haven't hit them all.
Yeah, and
Really
Marshall Park, like, it
nice.
has great potential, I think, as like a town, like just for everybody at the town to spend time. I think they're upgrading the playground too.
Yeah, I think I heard that. Sorry, I didn't mean to yawn. Um, okay. All right, yeah. So and obviously if anybody has ideas between now and the next meeting or the meeting after that, love to hear them and see if we can put them into action. Because like Mary said, the more involvement we can get from the community, it really helps us when we're also looking for grants and showing that we have a very involved um community. And obviously that's just good in general to have, you know, things that help clean up our town resources and work to make them better for the entire community.
I don't know what the laws necessarily allow, but like I feel like it would just be beneficial to add like native species in any like public area that might just be currently
Um,
unused.
if, as far as planting natives, our bylaw is pretty open to native planting. I mean, I probably wouldn't want to go into a park and like go where people would normally be sitting and plant a bunch of trees. But I also, I guess in conservation areas, though, it really would have to be, uh, if you're going to go in and plant stuff, it would still have to be approved. But anything's going to have to be approved unless somebody wants to correct me. But we would not approve as, I mean, in our bylaws, it said, I think it does say that it has to, if you're planting, it has to be native. So,
That's conservation areas. Teddy, you had said parks. Did you mean parks? That's not conservation areas.
Yeah, just like any yeah, like any public space that people go. Like
Yeah.
I think the park is a good example where there could be more native planting, but I don't know what the probably have to go through Parks Commission
Yeah,
for that.
I can't imagine they'd be opposed to it, but it would be their jurisdiction to decide.
Hmm.
it definitely would be good exposure for native plants, especially, how I know you were very active in the library plantings. Um, it's really good exposure, I think. And there's the rain garden at
Yeah,
the library.
I'm gonna be working on this project. I showed Mary, but I did this project for school, in regards to like planting natives and edible um plants in your yard to create like a food forest.
Yep.
And I just want to encourage people to get more involved in their yards because I think grass is not a great
Oh, yeah.
ground cover
I am with
personally
you.
by
Yeah,
itself.
I am very with you on that. Um, as little as grass as possible in my yard. I was like, need a little somewhere to sit and stuff, but no, totally with you on that. And I think that people are coming around to that. It's um people are the less lawn is a movement that's really taking up, is really gaining momentum. That's what I'm looking for.
I agree.
Um, grants updates. We do have some.
Yes, Madam Chair, do you want me to talk through what's going on with grants?
Yeah, that'd be great. Mm.
Okay. So you guys may recall that we had Bob primarily. I was helping him, but he had been kind of working on getting the next phase of grants queued up for us. I had written the last one that had been approved, which was to do some engineering drawings for some parking areas at Reno and Table Rock. Those Dilge and Roy did that work for us, submitted all the permit applications. We do have permits now issued for Table Rock and Reno. There's still some ongoing work with Caldry, and we don't need to talk about that so much today. But the strategy was once we had the permits for those parking areas, that we would turn around and submit applications through the Recreational Trails Program grants to actually have those parking areas constructed. And so that's what, Bob right now is kind of out of commission, or, focusing on his health, which I'm, for one, am really glad he's doing. He's such a great trail steward for us, so I want him to be healthy come spring and able to focus on that. So Jenny and I have kind of stepped in the interim to try to get these grant applications pulled together and get them submitted. We have to have them submitted by Monday. Madam Chair, can I share?
Absolutely. Please do.
Okay, we're going to share. Wow, where is it? I have too many things open.
Me too. That's because I was in OpenGov. And I always end up with 8,000 open tabs.
Yeah, exactly. So can you guys see the table rock drawing?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so we have this currently permitted. This is the Table Rock area, kind of on Northfield Road is on the bottom of the drawing. Settlers Crossing would be off to the left, and then the access road that's the current trailhead is off to the right. We have received a number of proposals for construction for doing this work. They kind of put us above what the grant administrator thinks might be feasible for us getting awarded the project. So what Jenny and I've done is we've reached out to some of those contractors that applied and asked them to kind of focus on phase one as installation of the replication area because that seems like a good feasible first step. It's also a place where, if we get somebody in there with right kind of heavy equipment and pay them to do all that kind of work, we might have an opportunity to come in later if we have the right kind of volunteer support and be able to have volunteers maybe put in the native plantings, and then we'd have time for those to establish and whatnot before we came in with phase two, which would be the actual parking area. We have scoped that out based on the drawing and the bids that have come in for that replication to be less than $51,000. And the way these grants work, we have to do 20% matching. We can offset that 20% matching with volunteer hours that are compensated at whatever the prevailing wage is. But the way we should calculate this from a Conservation Commission budgetary purpose is by saying not to exceed 20% of the overall construction cost. So that would be $10,287,000, which I believe we have plenty of budget right now in the Timber Rights Fund to support that, Madam Chair. I think you told me we had 26,000 in the Timber Rights Fund.
Yeah. I can pull it up again.
And while you're pulling that up, does anybody have questions about this proposal? This came before us, obviously, because we had to get an NOI permit roughly a year ago. Does anybody have any questions about the strategy or what's going on there or whatnot? So and ultimately I'll show you the RANO as well and talk to you about the 20% match on that. And what I think we would like to get out of this tonight is a vote by the commission on moving forward with submitting these grants, and then also as a commission allocating out of the Timber Rights Fund the not to exceed number, which would be roughly $19,749, so that we can proceed with doing the submittal and tell the grant administrator that we have that approval, if the commission is so willing. And if there are no questions on that, I'll just move over to the RANO property as well and look at that. Let's see.
So Timber Rights, sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but I just wanted to get this out there. As of November 6th, which was the last time I got an update, unfortunately, was actually 41,743.
Oh, 41,000.
Yeah, so I was,
okay.
Luckily I was off by being too low. Rather.
Yay. Okay. Very good. That's the better way to be. All right. So then Reno property is also on Northfield, closer to Route 13. We have roadside parking here that the previous grant got us to having the engineer drawings, getting the permit to have this done. I have the application all set up for that. We have budgeted by the bids that have come in 47,310 to install. And this is just one, do the whole thing all at once. It's a much simpler project. It was out of the 100-foot buffer zone, so we didn't have to get any wetlands permission for this. The 20% match for that would be 9,462, which is the not to exceed number. So for both grants, we would be looking for the commission to commit 19,749 as a not to exceed number. And again, as we move forward with this, we will work on getting volunteers, to do some of the work or to do other project work, like trail marking and whatnot, because all of that will count towards the in-kind match and reduce the amount of out-of-pocket money that we actually have to spend. Any questions on that? Okay, Madam Chair, I think let's see if we can get the commission to vote on allowing us to submit these grant proposals as presented and to allocate a not to exceed number of 19,749 for both phase one of the Table Rock parking improvement area and installation of the Reno parking.
Okay.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Wait, Richard, I had you for the motion?
Oh, it's
I
Mike.
think it was Michael for the motion and me for the second.
Okay. All right, that sounds good to me. Roll call vote. Teddy Doucette,
Aye.
Richard Bursch,
All right.
Mary Wilson,
Aye.
Andrea Burnett,
Aye.
Mike LaRouche,
Aye.
and I for myself, and that was 19,000, not to exceed 19,749. Because I
That's
wrote down
correct.
like 3 different numbers for some reason.
That's
Okay.
correct, Madam Chair. And that's total for both
For
grants.
both. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for going over all of that, Mary. I'm glad we were able to get that in before the grant was due. Okay. Next we have for old business, monthly oil bill. Okay, Mike, I wanted to ask you this before the meeting, but I'll ask you now. We had the oil fields at the Hollis Road residence and it was totally full. They put in $665. Now they've already put in another like 150-ish. Are they coming back every month and filling it up? Because it seems like
They should be coming in, calculating the degree days, and as the tank is emptied, they will come in and refill it automatically.
okay, because it seems like they came back pretty quick. Do you think that's just like a first check just to see how it's doing? And I just want to make sure that we have it covered in a PO for Mike, in the office, Michael Gale, just so he can get those issued without us having to keep voting every time a bill comes in.
Okay.
So far we've had 665 come in and another 100 and something. So I think
Those are
that
dollars, not gallons, correct, Mrs.
dollars, yes.
All right.
Yeah. Let me get the number for the second one. What was the name of the company again that's doing the oil? It is
I
Peterson.
think Peterson.
Okay. All right, so on 11/10, they issued an invoice for 665.66. Which I thought would cover yeah, at least, a month or two, especially because we have it down pretty low there. Then on
It was
12/17,
empty, an
huh?
empty tag. That was
Okay.
an empty tag, yeah.
Um, I only briefly have had oil. I'm not super familiar with how quickly it goes. I thought that 665 would be around 2 months, but on 12/17, I guess a second invoice came in for 289.45. So it sounds like they went out on 12/17 and 289.45 worth of oil had been used. So if we're thinking it's gonna be about $300 a month until April,
Yep,
I would say to be safe, should we approve maybe 1,500? Up to 1,500? I mean, obviously, we don't have to use it all. Uh, it
sure.
seems, it seems pretty high. I mean, look, what do we have the heat on in there? Like 60?
No, I think it's 55 the last time I checked.
It seems like it's going through pretty quickly, but I have to stop over there. I also have not gotten the um the
Marcel,
Marcel yet. Yeah.
okay, what are you waiting
Um
to?
I talked to Michael about it in the office, and he said that there's a credit card that we can use to buy stuff on a credit card, and then that's where we left it, and I haven't had a chance to follow up. But I went there not last weekend, but the weekend before. And then I also need to respond to the custodian's request to get back in there too. So I'll be in there again soon, I'm assuming. Um, okay. So I'm looking for a motion to approve a PO for Peterson Oil for the Hollis residents for 1,500, up to 1,500.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Roll call vote. Teddy Doucette,
Aye.
Richard Bursch,
Aye.
Mary Wilson,
Aye.
Andrea Burnett,
Aye.
and I for myself. All right. And then I will check in on the Marcel again tomorrow. It's already January. Um,
Madam
okay.
Chair,
Yes.
I just want to remind everyone that on Friday is when we have the scheduled heating system servicing that is scheduled to happen. And we've already approved a figure not to exceed, but I just wanted to remind everyone that servicing and cleaning will happen on Friday through Cans Heating,
Okay.
just as a reminder.
Okay. And can you remind me, they can just get in on their own, you said?
Yes, they can. They do not
Okay.
have to go into the house. They go through.
That's right. Okay, perfect.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mike. Other than that, let's see, we have committee reports, master plan. Teddy, do you have any updates from them?
We have our final meeting on February 25th, I believe, to just go over meeting minutes. And that'll be it. No other updates.
Okay. So if you have your final meeting on the 25th to go over meeting minutes, do you not have to do meeting minutes for that meeting?
Yeah,
It's
they
just-
brought that up because usually commissions don't just like form and dissolve.
Yeah.
But the master, I think they're trying to figure that out. That's above my pay grade.
Okay. I think that's funny because if you're going to approve minutes, but then there has to be minutes for meetings and then they have to be approved, it's almost like you'd have to have like an endless cycle of meetings.
Right.
So there must be some sort of thing in place for that.
I think people will
Uh,
just stop going.
Yeah. Chris is not here to update us on open space. And I know that they're also in the process of becoming a commission, I believe. And then stormwater, I don't have any updates since the last meeting, but we are meeting tomorrow. And then we are going before FinCom on, I want to say February 10th. And then we're going to the select board. It's going to be a fun-filled month of lots and lots of meetings for lots of different things for me. And I have Stormwater Task Force tomorrow. And then I have FinCom, I think February 10th. We are going to the select board. We're having 2 meetings next month. Um, so it's gonna be a lot of stuff while we try to ramp up and time for the spring meeting. And hopefully, not establish a stormwater utility then, but look at how we can maybe get the bylaw to work for us. Okay. On that, our next meeting is, oh, do we have any communications or public comment? I know we don't have any public comment. Do we have any communications from members of the commission?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I just completed my ethics certification for this year. I'm not sure if that's something you collect or whether do you require a copy, or is that just in the town?
Yeah, I think that they let the town know when you pass, if I remember correctly. I don't
Doesn't
remember
hurt
them
to ask
sending.
Julie.
Okay, yeah, let me ask her. Because I know when I've taken it, they don't send anything to me, I don't feel like, but I get
And,
it.
and they don't give me an option to send it to anybody to say that I've completed it. I mean, I could perhaps make a copy of it, but there's no mechanism within the Outlook that I'm aware of that I can send it to somebody. But I could be wrong or just unable or not aware of how to do it.
So let me see. I haven't had to retake it yet. So I'm trying to remember because it's every 2 years. And I'm
Correct.
I'm not I'm almost there. I'm very close.
Well, they'll remind you.
Oh yeah, well no, they're actually already sending me emails that it's almost time.
Oh, okay. You
I
have
was
a
trying
month
to,
after they remind you.
yeah. So I started getting my reminders on June 14th, January 14th.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, I remember they didn't send me anything the first time I took it. Like the first time I took it was just February 15th, 2024. And yeah, they didn't send me anything saying I passed it. So I don't know if they sent anything to the town, but I will ask Julie. I just
Okay.
assumed that they sent it to the town based on the fact that we took it from our Lunenburg email, but there's also a chance that really nobody is kind of overseeing that and just hoping that we all do it. But I'll check with Julie about that.
Sounds like it's ethically you're on an honor system.
Yeah. It, yep, exactly. So thank you for bringing that up, Mike.
Okay.
Um, okay. Do we have anything else that we're looking to cover tonight? Nope. Okay. Well, I really appreciate everybody hopping on an off-cycle meeting to make up for, and hopefully this at least we got to go over the grant stuff and this should help maybe take away some of the stuff that would have been on the next meeting so we don't have a an overloaded meeting. And yeah, so I really appreciate you guys all being here. And I have nothing else to add except for our next meeting is 1 week from today on Wednesday, February 4th. I will send out some site walks this weekend. I'll check in with Herlin. I don't know if maybe you might be interested in looking at, there's one property I might be interested in looking at the trees there for the administrative determination. I'll figure that out when I figure out exactly what we're looking at this weekend. Unless we have anything else to add, I'd be looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All right, roll call vote, Teddy Doucette,
Aye.
Richard Bursch,
All right.
Mary Wilson,
Aye.
Andrea Burnett,
Aye.
Mike LaRouche,
Aye.
and I for myself at 8:45 p.m. on 1/28/2026. We are adjourning the meeting of the Lunenburg Conservation Commission.
Good night, everybody.
Good
Thank you.
night, everybody. Thank you so much.
Great.
Bye-bye.
Good night.